This hadith number 218, Ubadah ibn Samit radiyallahu anhu, he says that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, La salata, there is no prayer, liman lam yakra, those who did not recite al-Kitab, that is Surah al-Fatiha. The one who does not recite Surah al-Fatiha, there is no salah upon him. Reciting Surah al-Fatiha is from the arkan al-salah. The other wordings, وَفِي رِوَائِةٍ Ibn Hibban وَدَارِ قُطْنِ, in Ibn Hibban and Dar Qutni it is mentioned that لا تجي الصلاة لا يقرأ فيها بفاتحة الكتاب. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says that there is no salat which is completed except if the one who does not recite Surah al-Fatiha. This hadith which are very clear. There are many hadith on this topic. In other wordings, وَفِي أُخْرَى لِأَحْمَدْ وَأَبِي دَاوُدْ وَالتِّرْمِذِي, in Abi Dawud, in Tirmidhi, and also in Ahmad, وَإِبْنِ Hibban. These are the books of hadith. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَقْرَؤُونَ خَلْفَ إِمَامِكُمْ. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was leading the prayers. Sahaba radiyallahu anhum, they were reciting along with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. After the prayers, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he turned towards them and asked, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَقْرَؤُونَ خَلْفَ الْإِمَامِ. Imam, you are reciting behind the Imam. We, Sahaba radiyallahu anhum, they said, قُلْنَا يَا رَسُولَ اللَّهِ, نَعَمْ, we recited. Then Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, قَالَ لا تفعلوا إلا بفاتحة الكتاب فإنه لا صلاة لمن لم يقرأ بها. اللهم استعان. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told them, admonished them that do not recite anything that what Imam recites except Surah al-Fatiha, and there is no prayer except with Surah al-Fatiha. All the hadith from all the Kutub al-Sittah which clearly says that reciting Surah al-Fatiha is from the arkan of the prayers. If one does not recite Surah al-Fatiha, his salah will be invalid. Now there are differences of opinion among the scholars. Why there is difference of opinion among the scholars is that Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah ta'ala says that it is not wajib to recite Surah al-Fatiha, and they have dalil, and they say dalil which is from the kutub, they say that from the hadith which says that تَقْرَأُوا مَا تَيَسَّرَ مَا الْقُرْآنِ, recite anything that is easy for you from the Quran, anything. Even if you have to recite one ayah that is from the Quran, that is enough because of the wordings. But the ulama have interpreted that meaning means it is Surah al-Fatiha. And also they have this dalil say that وَإِذَا سَمِعُوا وَانْصِتُوا, and if you are listening to the Quran, then you be silent. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran. And this particular ayah which says in the Quran by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is that whenever you listen to the Quran, you be silent. It's a general statement. There is something called a mutlaq. If you study usul al-fiqh, there is something called mutlaq. There is something called muqayyad. Mutlaq means it's a general principle. Muqayyad is on the same general principle. You make it as specific. Here in this hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam made it specific. What is that? La takraw. What is it? La salata liman lam yaqra Surah al-Fatiha. There is no salah except the one who recites Surah al-Fatiha. This is muqayyad, specific from generalization, isn't it? Imam Abu Hanifa says, if somebody recites Surah al-Fatiha, does not recite Surah al-Fatiha, salah is valid. Salah is valid. Imam al-Shafi'i rahimahullah ta'ala, he says that whether you are praying behind the Imam, whether you're praying alone, whether you're praying behind the Imam with the Salat al-Jahriyah or Sirriyah, in all the prayers you have to recite Surah al-Fatiha. Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal rahimahullah ta'ala, he says that reciting Surah al-Fatiha when it comes to the prayers which are silent, you recite by yourself. When it comes to louder prayers, that is Fajr, Maghrib and Isha, when you are praying behind the Imam, you don't have to recite. But when you are praying alone, you have to recite. Imam Malik rahimahullah, Imam Malik, he says that the salah which are Jahriyah, it is not wajib. It is not wajib. And this is what the opinion of Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah as well. But the question here is that, the thing is that nobody says that reciting Surah al-Fatiha, by reciting Surah al-Fatiha, salah will be invalid. They do not say this. They only have the opinion whether it is wajib or not. But what is more authentic with the hadith that we know is that the opinion of Imam Shafi rahimahullah ta'ala. That is the opinion of Imam Shafi and other muhaddithin and fuqaha, they say that reciting Surah al-Fatiha is wajib in the prayers. It is arkan in the prayers, and those who miss has missed his salah.